Hello everyone, my name is Dar Rath and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario, Canada. And each week I bring you a story that takes about 5 minutes to watch, and some of them are funny stories and some of them give you something to think about, and that's the case in this particular story. And it's in a book called Sunset Musings by Bob Johnston, and the title of the story is A Sad Farewell. The unfolding, poignant scene was taking place in a small cottage on a quiet street in Southampton. Our daughter's old dog was dying. Mimi could no longer get up from her bed. Her panting was heavy and labored. She could barely raise her head to look anxiously for my daughter if she briefly left the room. That evening, the veterinarian arrived to evaluate the dog's condition, and he confirmed our fears. Mimi's heart was failing, her lungs were slowly filling, and in a day or so she would eventually drown in her own fluids. With that prognosis sensitively and gently rendered to us, we had to make a decision. Do we let nature take its course, or do we choose to intervene and end her life? To put the dog down, as the expression goes. With no hope of recovery and facing the likelihood of a slow, painful death, the direction was clear, albeit painful. The vet first injected a sedative into the back leg, and Mimi was asleep. After a few moments to give us time for one final goodbye, he injected the fatal dose, and Mimi was peacefully gone. 1 minute alive, the next moment dead. My initial reaction was surprise and relief. It was such a simple procedure, skillfully completed and accomplished so quickly. Then, of course, came the inevitable sadness and sense of loss, but it wasn't until the next morning that yet another reaction set in. I woke up thinking about the awesome responsibility attached to any decision to suddenly and arbitrarily end the life of another living being, human or animal. Growing up on a farm, I admit to routinely grabbing cranky old roosters or hens whose egg production had dropped, and then calmly and indifferently watching as my father slit their throats. Suddenly, dinner was the welcome result. Looking back, I now see that even these everyday acts should warrant deeper reflection. I assume hunters and fishers adopt a similar attitude. The deer or the trout represents food on the table. Yet it's troubling that a moment earlier the creature was contentedly browsing grass or diligently looking for worms, oblivious to their imminent fate. In times of war, the hunted is the enemy, and the ending a life with a sniper bullet then becomes a necessity due to protect home and country. 1 moment alive, the next instant dead. All this leads me to the current debate about euthanasia. If one day in the future my daughter visits me in the Owen Sound hospital room, will she and I have the option of putting me down as an act of compassion similar to that shown for Mimi? My guess is that the boomer generation, following like a huge demographic wave behind us older sunset folks, will see to it that the current law permitting medical assistance in dying will be maintained and likely broadened. This younger group strongly believes in individual autonomy, the freedom to choose, be it abortion, marijuana use, marital status, or lifestyle. In general, they are not restrained by orthodox religious values, which have traditionally opposed ending one's own life. Our experience with a tired and suffering old dog, as compassionate as it was, is a first-hand reminder that behind any decision to end a life, human or animal, lie deeper ethical issues. Meanwhile, Mimi is now at rest, but like all dog lovers who have made similar choices, we are left to mourn our loss. Isn't it true? I think the day that we had to put down our dog of 13 years was one of the hardest and most difficult days of our life. We sat after the vet had performed that and our dog had died. We went out to the parking lot and we cried and we cried and we cried. My husband and I cried and cried for at least an hour, and we couldn't stop. And even to this day, we still miss that dog because he was the alpha in our house. Everything revolved around that wonderful, wonderful animal. And we still miss him and wonder if we should be getting another dog, but I think that's not going to happen because we found it too difficult to actually put him down. So that's a story, something for you to reflect about today. And thanks for taking 5, and blessings on your day.